Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a Friday Reads. I am going to do my best to try and keep this video short and sweet because my last two videos have been like 20 plus minutes, and bless you for sitting through and watching them. But like I said, my Friday Reads, I see some people doing like a 2-minute long Friday Reads. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do that, but I'm going to at least try and keep this at a reasonable amount of time. So, to start off with, what am I drinking? What is in my tea mug? Which is my awesome Dunkin' Donuts tea mug. In Canada, we actually don't have Dunkin' Donuts up here, but I am very familiar with this chain of coffee shops because I am a huge, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I'm a huge Boston Red Sox fan. I love baseball. And one of the sponsors, so every time I watch a game coming from Boston on NESN, they talk about, Boston runs on Dunkin'. So I knew when I was in the States 2 years ago, I went to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival to Rhinebeck in October of 2015. On my way back home, I picked this up at a Dunkin' Donuts. So anyway, that's got nothing about here nor there. I have a large collection of teacups, or mugs as well, and all of them seem to have a story. So today I'm actually drinking another seasonal tea, and this is Witch's Brew, and this came out last October. I think it comes out like every October before Halloween, but anyway, I actually kept the box because it was super duper adorable. That's what it came in. But it's like, it's a little box, and then the plastic, there was a plastic bag inside with the tea in it. This is a Rooibos tea, and it's got cocoa beans, the Rooibos. It's actually got orange and black candies in it, so if you look at the actual, like, loose leaf tea, it's got little black bats, and witches' hats, and pumpkins, and they're like little pieces of candy. Not that you'd sit and eat them because they're really, really paper thin, and they actually go into the tea and give it a nice sweet flavor. Sweet blackberry leaves, elderberry flower, saffron petals, natural and artificial flavoring. And I love on the box it actually says Eye of Newt not included. So this is a really yummy tea. I have enough left for about 3 or 4 more servings because if I'm only making a cup like this, I don't use that much. But I absolutely love it. It's really, really good. It's a really nice fall tea, but it's, again, from those little candies, it's got this great little sweetness, so maybe check this out, come the fall. I will let you guys know when stuff comes in at David's if anybody's interested in getting stuff like that. So, what am I reading this weekend? I actually have the physical copy of the book. Now, I'm going to be reading it on my e-reader, but I do own a physical copy, and I just thought this would be easier to hold it up. I have I'm maybe 2 or 3 pages into If You Only Knew by Kristan Higgins. I am super excited about reading this book. I think I talked about this when I was doing my my March, I almost said wrap up. Oh, we're not there yet. My March TBR. I have not read a Kristan Higgins book in probably a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. This is one of her newer ones. She's got an even newer one that just came out recently called On Second Thought. But this is the one that came out last year, I think. And it's essentially about 2 sisters, one who just suffered through a breakup with a boyfriend, and the other one who's having issues with her husband. So they come together and they kind of lean on each other for support and to get through this crisis that they're going through. So I am very, very much excited for this. It is a longer book. It's about 400 pages, which, to be fair, is usually an average length for me with these kind of books. But I should definitely be able to get through it this weekend because I find her books super duper easy to read. So the other thing that I plan on reading this weekend, or listening to, I should say, I have got 2 hours left on The Valley of Amazement by Amy Tan. This is my audiobook. It was almost 25 hours long. Like I said, I've got about 2.5 hours left on it. I'm at the point now towards the end where I want to know what's going to happen. And even 2 hours left in it, you're still getting close to the end of the book. And I've actually even been listening to it, like I dropped my husband off at work in the morning, and I have about a 15-minute drive after dropping him off, and I still tend to put this on, even just for that little 15 minutes just to listen to it, because I'm really excited about getting this done. So I'm actually hoping to finish it this weekend. I might just pull out my knitting, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute, and just go to town and just finish listening to this, because it's so good. Now, I haven't talked about this book in a while, mainly because I haven't a 25-hour long audiobook that you maybe listen to for half an hour a day. you're not getting a lot of progress done on this. I've been listening to this since the beginning of January. But essentially what this is about, it's about a woman who lives in Shanghai, and this takes place around the turn of the century. So like 1910, 1920, it does span about 40 years in time. But anyway, this woman lives in Shanghai, and she owns and runs a courtesan house. Essentially a very high-class brothel, for those of you who are unaware of what that is. And she has a young daughter, and the daughter kind of grows up in this environment, but, you know, it's not what you think it is. It's not horrible. Like, the courtesans actually have to be, like, wooed, essentially. You don't just walk in and put your money down and say, I want her, and you go up to their boudoir and whatever happens, happens. But, like, you actually have to vie with other men for their affections and buy them gifts. And, I mean, it takes, like, weeks and weeks to months to actually have a physical relationship with these women. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, without giving too much of the plot away, the mother and daughter are actually separated. And the daughter is then sold, unbeknownst to the mother, into a courtesan house at the age of 14 as a virgin courtesan. And it goes from there. And it spans the daughter, like, from the time she's just very young to almost at the end, she's now almost 30. And with the mother, it starts out, you know, the mother's probably about 30, and it goes back to when the mother was, like, in her early teens, and then her life, which led her to Shanghai. I mean, it's amazing. And the knowledge about the culture at the time in China, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The narration has been great. And for those of you who might have, are familiar with this author's name, she actually wrote The Joy Luck Club, for anyone who read that. Now, I read that a long, long time ago, but I'm actually excited now. I would like to reread it after listening to this, because it's just been so good. So yeah, so that's what my reading plans are for the weekend. And I mentioned very briefly my knitting. I will show you guys. Again, I'm trying to keep these videos short. So this weekend I plan on working on my sweater. I didn't show this to you guys last week because I didn't really have anything different to show you, but very exciting. Excuse me. I've got stuff like all over the place here. So I have finished the body of this sweater. Let me sit back a little bit. So I finished the body of the sweater. So there it is. And what I'm working on now, because it's top down, so let's go over here. So what I'm working on now is, you can see I've got like stitches, like string hanging over. Stitches are on hold to pick up later. But what I'm working on now, so if this was right, I'm working on this part. So the part that goes up here, so it'll end up looking like a vest when I'm done. So you can see this one side is higher than this side because I'm doing this part right here. And then I'll do the same in the back, because the back, you know, then I have to go up the back. And then I essentially seam the shoulders together, and then I put the sleeves on. And then there's a big cowl neck that's going to go on it as well. So I'm still loving this. It's big, and it's going to be so cozy when it's done. So that is my plan to work on this weekend. I would really, really like to get the sleeves started by Sunday night. That would be really super awesome. That's it, guys. Again, trying to keep it nice and short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments below what you're reading this weekend, or what you're doing, or if you've read either of the books that I'm talking about and what you thought about them. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.